welcome back and welcome to another new customer. So doing lots on this one. Like I said, new customer, which is always quite exciting. The car is stock at the moment, as far as I'm aware. We've still got this Symposium and all that there, look. Standard box and all that sort of stuff. The only thing that he has got on it is the crossover. He's had that put on. He's done a few cosmetic bits on it, but I think that's about it. There's nothing else, which is good. It's like the cosmetics on it with the front splitter and all that. But that's good. That's a really good baseline to start with. So, what we're doing, right? Pull the front end off it. So we've got a Pro Alloy curved intercooler to go on it. The Pro would be in white, which is really cool. We've got the Pro Alloy boost pipe kit. Symposia delete, obviously, get rid of that. We're going to be putting a Pro Alloy crossover pipe on it. Retain the stock air box. He's got a, he's got a K9 filter in there or whatever, but we'll have a look when we get that out. Tell me, won't we? Regal rear motor mount, Regal Stage 2 software, SBS switch, obviously, and we've got to have the exhaust has got to be done in it. So we're going to be putting we'll show it to you on the bench and we'll talk you through as we do it. So Miltech Sport Cap, this is where it gets interesting. And we've done this a few times before. So we're going to use Miltech connector pipes from the Sport Cat, and then we've got our own over axle pipe, which is fabricated for us by one of our technical partners, that's Julian, down at Proform Engineering. We've said you before, really clever guy. And Simpson rear silencer, repackable rear silencer, which is there's two types that we do. So we do the Miltech exhaust is a 2 3/4 inch bore size, right? So we stick with that. And then we use our own Simpson repackable rear silencer with a straight pipe exit, single 3 inch. The other one is the WRC one, which is completely different, right? But let's just stay on what we're doing here. So that's what we're going to do. We've done it on quite a few now, Timmy, haven't we?
Yeah.
Andy's black one, Kai's just had it put on his, Timmy ran it on his as well. We've got another customer who's got it in Barnstable area. So yeah, and they sound pretty awesome. As you know, if you follow, we'll put the link on it with Kai Bellamy. Have a look at his Instagram post. He put some short vids on it of him on the roads local to him, so you can hear what it sounds like. Really, and it's pretty cool. Not intrusive at all. Really nice. When you come up on throttle, it gives you quite a unique sound. As we've demonstrated, it sounds great on a circuit as well. So yeah. Anything else I've missed there, Timmy? So we've got the indicator, we've got the boost pipe kit, the rear motor mount, the software, the exhaust. Obviously we'll whip all the spark plugs out and check them, because we'll be, if need be, we'll swap them out. We'll run a cooler on and plug in it anyway. That's, we always recommend that. We'll gap them down. But I think that's about it. So this is the first phase, what he's gonna do, and then he's already talked about, maybe later, like go with a bigger turbo and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's an option. We can talk about that further down the line, but for now we can crack on with what we're doing, and we'll go through the video as we normally do, keep you updated, show you what Timmy's doing wherever we can, and this will be quite a good one on this one. He's really excited about it, because also in stage 2 Regal software you get the enhanced, the exhaust enhanced overrun, or the enhanced exhaust overrun, or the exhaust enhanced overrun, whatever. It's the same, isn't it?
Yep.
Leaders. Right, back on to Darren's lovely Mark 7. As you can see, look, it's on the floor there at Timmy, so cat's now been removed. Obviously we've chopped that, it's got the original system on it. It's already got an AirTech indicator on it. Alright, which first off Darren was going to keep that, but he's decided to go the Pro Alloy route, which is behind you, which we'll unwrap that shortly. That's the curved one. Like you can see the size difference. That's a bit like the original, but probably classed as a stage 1, I suppose. I don't know, but they see a bit thicker. It's quite heavy, but yeah. So he's moving away from that, and he's going to the Pro Alloy, which is obviously what we would recommend. Got the other bits and pieces, crossover pipe and all that sort of stuff to unwrap, and we'll put it on the bench and all that sort of stuff. Some interesting things we found, Timmy, in it, whilst we're which we always do. So on the catalytic converter side of things, so they're threaded into the turbo, exhaust turbo housing, it's the manifold bit that comes off the turbo. So the bottom one, lower one, has been fudged up and they've just like drilled into it, and there's a nut and bolt in there. To me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The problem is there's not much we can. They've pretty much wrecked it, so there's not much we can do about that. The other two are fine. We've ran a tracer, like a chaser tap down through that, so we can reuse them, and then we'll have to re-nut and bolt it down the bottom, but we'll renew it and put a decent strength nut and bolt in there, washers, etc. There's nothing else we can do because it's part of the turbo manifold, so that's just the way it is. But it'll be fine once we've done it. These are all the little things that you find, and the other things which we found when we're doing our checks, we got a broken coil spring here. Look, this is all the little things that we just when we're checking. So as you can see, look, it's broke. And the reason why I noticed that there and thought, oh, that's been rubbing against the bottom of the subframe there, and that's why. So now let's speak to Darren, see what he wants to do. Now whether he wants to, we'd have a couple of stock rear coil springs upstairs. So if he wants to just pop them on, that's fine. Or he might say, no, I want to put a H&R springs on it. So I don't know, but the quickest route at the moment is just replace them with some stock ones that we've got upstairs. You can't leave it like that. It's got standard rear upper isolators, so we need to bin them and put some Powerflex ones on for sure. The other thing we noticed, Timmy, which is, I don't know whether Darren, obviously noticed this, not something that he would do, but yeah, the way that wheel's been balanced is superb, isn't it? That reminds me of the double stacker Zinger that I had in Bristol on Saturday. He double stacker as well. Look, let's get the line on. Let's flash him up. Double stacker. Honestly, I can never get my head around why these tyre places, whoever's done that, would balance a wheel like that. It's absolutely shocking, in my opinion. Absolutely. It's, I mean, that's single, so like one on the inside, one on the outside. I'm not sure about the front, but I just noticed that. It's quite funny, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So I don't quite understand why they would do one. Maybe it was like more than one fitter doing it. But why would you do that on these and then, build them up like a skyscraper?
That's it.
Isn't it, eh?
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Just what we pointed out, 'cause it's just quite funny, really. But anyway, so as you can see, look, everything's all off. That's the bit we were talking about there, where they banged that up in the bottom. It's just information, really, just to put across to you on the video. But that's all ready to go. Move across to the front to me. As you can see, front end's off it. Yeah. We need to take these brackets off and all that. So Timmy's got, quite a bit more to do first, and then we'll start unwrapping it, sharing it all with you, and then we'll start fixing it all up again. I mean, the very last thing we'll do is like soft ring motor mount, software and all that sort of stuff. But we'll get the fundamentals done of it first. A little bit of wrenching around the motor, but we'll clean all that off and make it all good for him. The other thing we found was a little bit of on the bumper. Again, it's just Darren does know that there was an issue with the way the bumper was sat, and I said that we'll address that when we take it off. So yeah, once there's some realigning to do. Like Timmy was pointing out, they've drilled down through here, look, from the support brackets on the front.
Yep.
For the intercooler, I suppose. But again, it's not the sort of thing that Darren would know, and we'll only find this when we start taking things apart. So we'll make it all good for him, and but he needs to know about all these things, obviously. It's just because he wouldn't. How would he know else? All right, so yeah, let's crack on. Right, there we have it on the bench. Let's start with the exhaust, Timmy. Yeah.
Yep.
So there we are, viewers. So we've got like I said to you before, Motec Sport Cap. Always change the ring gasket. We've got the gasket they supplied with it, clamps, nuts and bolts, connector pipe, settler pipe as we call it. That's our fabricated over axle pipe to suit the Simpson rear silencer. As you can see, the Simpson rear silencer, awesome. There's no tag on it at the moment. That gets welded on Julian. So, but we're going to test fit this because Darren he doesn't want it sticking out too far. So like standard, it'll be coming out. If you've seen like Clive Enemies that we've done, that's it. But he wants it more you know, look sort of like more flush. So we'll test fit it up. He'll pop by this evening, and then we'll mark it and say, right, bang, is that where you want it? Yeah. Because once he's made the decision, that's it. And then we'll get that altered, get the Simpson tag tagged onto it. Simpson tag tagged on.
That's it, yeah.
Isn't it? And then we're sort of like ready to go on that. But that's, yeah. So we'll share that as we fit it. That's the old indicator on the floor there, as you can see. But as we can see there, there's the Pro Alloy side of it. So we've got the boost pipe kit, and then we got all the silicon joiners, you know, couplers, whatever you want to call them. And then we've got the crossover pipe, and onto the turbo elbow pipe. There we are. Yeah. It just makes sense to do all. We're going to do it all, just do it all at the same time, innit? Then what we'll do next is, once we get the exhaust fitted up, then we'll present the intercooler, pop that on the bench to me.
Yep.
Then we can share that with the viewers then, innit? And then we'll crack on. But yeah, so more updates to come. Right, we're making good progress on Darren's, as you can see. We had to move on with things because we're up against it a bit, so apologies for the lack of like video process of what we're doing on the front end. We'll show you in a minute, but Timmy had to crack on and do it and I wasn't here. So so the rear springs have been fitted. Like I say, that's the one that is the broken coil spring lock, as you can see. I don't know where the bit is.
No, it's not there.
It's not there, so that's gone, long gone. All right, so they're all done. Rear off isolators, as you can see, look, all Paris control pieces, usual thing. The front ones. Now this is so we talked about, I might have some stock ones upstairs. We haven't, I thought I did, but we must have used them on other customers' cars when they're putting them back to standard, when they're selling them, for example. But we found a nearly new set of the H&R ones, which is really cool. So we're going to go for them. Upper isolators are done, so if you have to crouch down to me, so as you can see, look, actually we've got a light there, look, we can show you that. Flash them on, look, so there we go, look. So there's the upper isolators, so on the other side, all done. The exhaust is fitting now, look, over axle pipe. The reason why you don't see the rear silencer on it is because Darren wanted the tailpipe trimmed back about 30 millimeters. He didn't want it sticking out, so like normally it's stick out here so you can see the tag. So he wanted that cut back in so it's just further in, about 30 mil. So what we've done is that's been took it down Julie and he's modified that, and then the tag normally would go around the tailpipe on an arc. Obviously, we're going to put it on there because you won't see it. So what we're going to do is put it on the lower part of the box. That's not been done before, so that, see what that looks like, pretty cool. So just wander around to the front, Timmy, lead you around the other side. Like I said, we didn't actually show you before we put the bumper on, but many of you see it, but yeah, I got pictures and whatever, but we needed to get on with it, all right, and so I wasn't here. But that's, so we specifically asked for a Pro logo in white, which looks quite well, wouldn't you? It looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, later on, if you want to take these out, that's quite time consuming to me, as you know.
Yeah,
so that's something to do later. But bumper's all fixed up. There's a few bits on it that we had to repair and refix because it was not been put on properly to me when it was a bit loose.
And some bolts missing.
Some bolts missing, so we've done that. Round on the side, so we've done the boost pipes. We'll show you this when we take it up a bit later. Most Timmy's get this out of the way first, then we'll take it up and we'll do another continuation of the boost pipes and all that sort of stuff. Terrible elbow. But yeah, the other sides will strip, so what we're doing now is stripping down this side to get the struts out, and then we'll change the lower front springs, check the top mounts, make sure they're all good. Yeah, and then we're it's just rear mount to do to me, innit?
Yeah.
Last thing to do would be load up the software. So we're nearly there, you know, and then we can go and do some test balls in it and make sure everything's all good. So me and Timmy will go out with the laptop, do some data logging with it, and because I thought it was stock, but since then Darren's maybe where it has got a map on it. He's not sure what map it is on it. I think it's a man in his van map, which is what I call them, you know, which is fine if that's what you want. So yeah, so that's obviously coming off, and then we'll go to Revo stage 2. But we'll talk about more of that a bit later. Right, so let's leave Timmy to crack on. Right guys, girls, back onto the front of Darren's, as you can see that. Wheels right back on, springs are all fitted. The H&R ones, about 30 to 35 mil drop on this through memory on these. We've already showed you the front bumper and all all on that sort of stuff. I have to press you, yeah. So as you go under that, you can just see the boost pipes. So it's got the Pro Alloy full boost pipe kit. You know, the cold transfer from the throttle. Must apologise for the wind, it's quite a bit windy today, that's rattling the doors. Then we got the hot side and the turbo. Yeah, all connected up, seen it from the front of the Pro Intercooler. The exhaust side, you can see, look, from there, look to me, that's how it sits, look, the over axle pipe, the rear silencer will be back with us shortly. Laura's put that down to Julian to put a little tag, stainless tagged on. Rear motor to do, software, which I'll be loading up the software soon, we'll crack on with that. Yeah, and then it'd be road test time, isn't it?
Yep.
Ideal. So we nearly at the end. Too soon. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, plugs. So we're going to, because it's going to be running Regal Stage 2, we thought we would, it's got the stock plugs in it, Timmy, innit?
Yep.
So we'll put a set of cooler running LCRs in it, we'll gap them down. So yeah, that's all it was, just to let you know about the plugs. So we're going to crack on with the software in a minute. Right, we're done. We've just come back from doing a road test, well, second test, because me and you went out first, Timmy, didn't we?
Yeah.
Done some data logging, come back, made a few adjustments. I wasn't happy with the spark plugs that were in it. They were stock plugs on it, so I'll whip them out and put some the LTR ones that you've seen on the bench. Gap them down. Gap them with 26,000. Perfect. Right, so we've played around the gaps on it and just took it out for another run now. Bang on. Really pleased with it. Goes really well. The Regal Stage 2 software is brilliant. You get we've loaded up the file with the enhanced overrun, the exhaust overrun as well, which is really good, especially with the Simpson silencer. You get a nice subtle like boom at the back when you come off throttle. It's really cool. And it's randomly, so don't do it all the time. But as you can see, so on this, because we trimmed he wanted the tailpipe would normally stick out here, so the Simpsons tag would normally go around here, as we said, so you can see it, you look down on it. He wanted the 30mm off the tailpipe, so he wanted it, we always do them longer so that the customers can choose, you know, whether they want it, well, kind of a bit longer, that's the length, they can have it shorter them, like he did, so 30mm off that, and then obviously if you try and put the tag on that, you wouldn't really, you could put it on there, but you wouldn't really see it, so he said, oh, can I have the tag on the bottom there? That's cool, we've not done that before, so there, Julian's tagged that on there for us. We'll do a little sound check in a minute and you'll see what it sounds like, but it just purrs away like on idle. Sounds like nothing else. You don't get that sound from any other exhaust that I've heard. You know, I've heard quite a few of all sorts. Doesn't sound like that. So let's go under to me. So you can see that it's all where it sits, over axle pipe, all nice. We've realigned it on this ramp. There, no connected pipes as we said, all good. Sport cap. You can see up there, look, got the sport cap. Okay, we've fitted the rear motor mount now. That's all done. The boost pipe showed you before. Springs like done before, but really chuffed with this one. Yeah, he's going to love it. Absolutely love it. It makes some cracking noises as well. So yeah, he'll be well chuffed with that. But yeah, that's not really anywhere else you can put that. To be honest, that really needs to go. You know, it is
in the bumper.
Yeah, we can cable tie that around there, but it's, yeah, I mean, you've got the air brushing in, so it will sort of think, it really needs to have, I said it needs to have the duct in the bumper really, Timmy, doesn't it? Yeah. And then let's get rid of this and then put on a proper ducting pipe. But yeah, we'll just do that to the boost pipe there. Alright, so we're going to let it down now, we'll do that, quickly do that, let it down, and then we'll do a few little revs so we can film it, and you'll hear what it sounds like. Give you an idea, won't it? Right, before we go and do the rear end down, you listen to the Simpson silencer, just under the bonnet, so we cut the engine cover off because that's exposed heat. We really want to be putting that back on. But you can see, yeah, it's pretty cool, the cross of the pipe. You know, he's already had the ram air silicone pipe to the air box. Like I say, he's got the sort of feed in the bottom of it, which you just saw just now, which needs to connect to that now. So yeah, all pretty good. The only thing that we will be recommending that he does is change the header tank. That's the original header tank. It's starting to go out shape and balloon a bit, and starting to you see the airline cracks on it. That's what they do. They split and then he'll start losing coolant. So he needs to get that done. But we'll be recommending to go with the rest of it, a black satin black Pro Alloy one with side glass. Bit to get done. All right. So let's put round to the rear. Timmy, do that. Yeah.
Yep.
idea, guys. It's really, you don't get the overrun, the enhanced overrun when you're driving it. And I just said to Timmy when I come back, it's really cool because when you come off throttle, it's just like randomly, and then you get them lovely burbles, and it's quite like bassy, yeah, lovely sound, not metallic-y, raspy sound. It's a sound of its own. So he's going to be well chuffed with it. And like I said, we have an exciting ride over, that's for sure. Alright, so let's get him outside, Timmy. So we'll finish it off there, won't we? And until the next time. But when it comes back in again, we'll do another little, well, it depends on what we're doing, a quick bit on maybe fitting the header tank, something like that. But yeah, he's going to be well chuffed with it. So we'll give Darren a call now. You can pop in, talk him through the SBS switch side of it. And yeah, so usual thing, viewers. We come to the end of another vid. ST180. Doing these anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Really important. Bring up the little pop-up banner. Just click all, and then you'll get notified. You won't miss anything. Then you'll get notified of any uploads that we do.